there you go. Exciting. It's going to be a good season. Hey guys, Chris Egnoto here, and it is windy and it is freezing right now. Yesterday morning it was like 11 degrees, literally. Day before that it was 70. And right now it's windy and cold. So bear with me here. This is going to be a weird intro, but there's reasons for that. Number one, I filmed a great intro to this video that was funny and I had 2 steps in it. And for some reason, all that footage disappeared. The first 5 clips of this video are gone without a trace. But also, you know, there's been a lot going on in my life over the past like 7 years or so, and it's been extremely difficult because literally my back's been up against the wall. I mean, I was homeless for a while, right? And all these other things. Everything involves the people that I love and my dog. You know, I don't care what happens to me. You can literally stab me in the arm, true story, and it's not going to faze me. You do that stuff, and I'm no match for it, especially with the autism and the PTSD, right? Not from being stabbed. Well, so things took a step up recently, and I feel so cornered and at a loss as to what to do, and it's consuming me emotionally, right? So much so that I'm nauseous from it all the time, and you know, nightmares and all that. It's not what this video is about, so just let's move past that. I get that information, I get that news, and then later that day I get this call. Turns out to be the Wildlife Brothers, right? And they're like, Chris, we're in town, it's, you know, part of the amphibian breeding season, we would love to meet up, and we brought our girlfriends to introduce you guys, you know? And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. But inside I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to be social? I cannot be social like this. I can't even talk. Literally, I can't talk around people and stuff right now. What am I going to do? But I decided, okay, I'm gonna surrender to this. I need to meet up with the brothers. I mean, they mean the world to me, right? I got to do this because it's good medicine. And so I'm like, I'm going to bask in the company of Evan and Harrison and their girlfriends, Sarah and June, by the way. How you doing? It was great meeting you. Not like, how you doing? But like, how you doing? And anyhow, so they're like, do you know of any good locations for the breeding activity, especially with peepers and wood frogs? Well, I'm like, well, I know some great locations, right? So I had this one location that I keep in my back pocket, and I was like, that's where we should go. Does that look okay? And we head up there, and sure enough, you know, on the way, you're not hearing peepers anywhere. We get there, and it's just booming, right? So it's like, good, this is a good sign. But I'm like, this is going to be difficult. Now, if you film nature videos, you know you have to have a good microphone, right? Okay, sorry about that. I had to move the camera for obvious reasons. But as I was saying, if you do nature videos or any kind of videos, you know you have to have a good microphone, right? Or else it's just going to be an uphill struggle. Well, there's one exception to that. If you're filming a frog chorus, a spring peeper chorus, you don't want a good microphone because that's all you're going to hear. I literally ruined the footage in one video back in the day filming spring peepers. They were so loud you had this visual noise on the screen, and other times the microphones just totally shut out because it's too loud. So what happened in this video is, for starters, the first 5 clips are gone, and secondly, the audio with the peepers is so overwhelming at times it's hard to hear anyone talking. So I had to try to clean that up. Bear with me on that. The brothers actually sent me some of their footage so I can try to use that to clean up the audio. So anyways, I don't talk a whole lot about nature because, as I said, I tried to be in that moment with the brothers and Sarah and June. And that's that. Let's just get to this video. It's a super long, terrible intro. I apologize for that. And don't worry. Me and my family, we always just make it. And it gets deep real fast. But right over here it gets muddy and you can slip. It's that slick kind of mud. Right here.
If you look right down here, you heard those frogs that were deafening just a second ago. Look in this patch of leaves here. You can't see that frog if he doesn't want to be seen.
I look awesome, don't I? Okay, so as you can tell, they're singing away. So this location is a success. A lot of peepers, and I can hear at my 6 o'clock a lot of wood frogs singing. So I'm gonna hang out with them. We're gonna find a few things, and I know I filmed a ton of peeper and wood frog videos over the years. I'm probably going to be doing another one right now. But I'm going to look around.
Hello.
Okay. Now. That wouldn't have been good for either of us. Yep. Totally. We're going to walk past that little gate to right over there. And that's where the grass is. We might see some females. We might see a pickerel frog. But who knows? But it's worth a try.
Okay.
I'm going to grab the tripod just in case. Hit the record button first. Oh my God. I can't say how many times. Now, right now, behind me, I just heard 2 male wood frogs. The one did a release call. So there's 2 males right over here. And the one male grabbed the other thinking it was a female. So Sarah had a question, which is an awesome question. What's your question?
Is it only the males that are calling out right now?
Is it only the males that do the calling? Well, turns out that yes, it's only the males that have vocal sacs. And what's funny is you can actually pick up an amphibian and they'll do a release call thinking that like, hey, dude, I'm another guy, and they'll do this little call and people think they're talking to you. But yeah, they only do the calls to attract the females. They do all the singing, they're serenading them. And the same goes for the crickets and katydids and stuff. It's only the males that can make that music.
So they're flirting?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is spring break. Oh wait, this really is spring break.
It's like Miami for them?
So there we go. Awesome. Right, it really is though, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't this spring break?
Yeah.
That is too funny.
Chris said he heard some wood frogs. We haven't seen any wood frogs yet tonight. So we're gonna see if we can get them on camera.
Something I've noticed about the wood frogs here, but not in all locations, is anytime you hear one go "Ruh, ruh," and do it singing, it'll shoot forward. And if they're sitting still, they'll make no sound at all. As soon as you hear that "Ruh," you look and you see the concentric rings and you know exactly where they are. But it gets really funny because you can throw pebbles and they'll go "Ruh, ruh," and chase after them when it's really intense. Not that we're supposed to interfere like that. I've just heard about it in a dream. So what we want to do right here is just hunker down for a second, because this pool is a good one for the wood frogs. You can see some of their eye shine over there and stuff, which looks like a silvery white. So what you do is you wait. You got to have a bit of patience, and they'll start singing and coming out towards you. And when it gets good, you can tap the water with your fingers like with the American toads, and they'll just grab onto you. So it's a good way to get them worked up, because once one of them is worked up, it spreads like wildfire.
All right. So that is a male wood frog. Male wood frogs are dark brown. Females are actually prettier. They're a red color. They're lighter. They're usually more red. So that guy's a little male.
Yeah. Sarah's asking a lot of really cool questions that I wouldn't even think to be talking about if I was out here myself. Of course, I don't remember any of them now. What was the last one you just asked?
Why are there so many males in comparison to females?
Okay, why are there so many males instead of females? One, that's often the case, right? Spring break. Right? You got all those males going crazy trying to pick up the females. But the thing is, if we're lucky, if we're at the right time, the males are getting here first. And then they start singing. And the females, they're still underground, letting that antifreeze kick in and stuff. And they start to come out and they're like, oh, the party's down there. And it actually helps guide them to the pool. Another instance, in some cases, it allows them to establish some territory. But with wood frogs, I don't think that's really the case. I think with wood frogs, they don't care about that because as you can hear, they croak, move. They're not really staking claim in any one spot. But it does, they work together. They don't mind sharing the chorus right now because it allows it to be heard from such farther away. The females will be coming out of the forest, which is over that way, and coming their way over here. So it's letting them know where to go.
If they're croaking and moving, how do they know where to find that male at?
Okay, oh my God, see what I mean? That's another awesome question. So how do they know if they're moving around? Well, one, I imagine this is what they're designed for. So they're probably really good at it, you know? Their tympanum, right, is probably really sensitive. They've got wide heads, so their eardrums are kind of far apart. That probably helps them to triangulate better. But I actually think that they can also see really good. So the call is like, oh, he sounds good and everything like that, but he doesn't even need the call for the female to be interested. Once she's making her decisions and all, she already knows and she can see him moving around and everything like that. It's mostly when they're out in the woods that they don't know exactly where it is. Although they probably do because they're going to come back to the same pool that they were born in 9 times out of 10.
Absolutely.
So it just lets them know, hey guys, party started. We brought the alcohol in our livers, actually.
And it's funny. It's funny Chris should say brought the alcohol because we keep using this spring break analogy for what these frogs are doing. But actually, the reason that wood frogs and spring peepers are able to have these breeding choruses so early in the year, it's mid-March right now, but that's early as far as amphibians are concerned. Wood frogs and spring peepers build up glucose in their blood, in their bodies, and that glucose acts as a natural antifreeze. So wood frogs can actually survive being over 60% totally frozen. They will bring their metabolic activity all the way down to pretty much nothing, just a few heartbeats a minute, a few breaths a minute, and they'll have all this glucose in their blood that allows them to survive extremely cold conditions. Both spring peepers and wood frogs are capable of this amazing ability. It's one of my favorite things about them. And that's just one of the things that lets these frogs get here before any other amphibians have started breeding. When you hear spring peepers and wood frogs, those are usually the first amphibians that I hear every year out in the vernal pools.
Right, it pretty much gives them a jump on the season that allows them to get up here and breed before things like most of the green frogs and bullfrogs get their opportunity. And so of course when their tadpoles are growing, they hatch out a little sooner than competition. So that means they get the pick of the banquet. You know, they have better food, but that also the key thing, amphibians, which amphibios is both life, you know, aquatic and terrestrial, that allows them to, they want to spend as much of their life as possible in the aquatic stage. You know, like we don't want to leave the nest.
Right.
I hate to say that, but we want to stay at home. You know, our parents, it makes life a little easier. You got the food, rent, and everything like that. Well, the same kind of thing goes on with everything. You know, to expend as little amount of energy as possible before you're like, okay, now the hard life begins. I'm an adult. I gotta go around into woodlands. I gotta watch out for more predators.
And actually, that was what I was gonna say. One of the things about wood frogs is that unlike some of the other frogs we have here in Pennsylvania, wood frogs are what we call vernal pool or ephemeral pool obligates, which means that they absolutely must breed in vernal pools. So they cannot lay eggs and will not where there are permanent bodies of water that have fish in them. So the real name of the game for these wood frogs and the peepers right now is that all the pools we're exploring are virtually fishless. So they have very few predators to speak of except other amphibians.
And foxes and raccoons.
That's right. Mammals will come in and they will eat the eggs, but when you're in those vernal pools, you have significant reduction in your threat from predation than you would if you were out in the woodlands behind us. So that's a really strong advantage that these frogs have, not only because it's great real estate, great freshwater habitat, but it's also safe from some of their primary predators, especially in the egg and the tadpole stage.
Yeah, and one more thing, not to beat...
A dead horse?
Yeah, that's what, thank you. Not to beat a dead horse, but it's gone. It's gone. It's completely gone. Oh well.
Don't beat dead horses.
Yeah, seriously, look what happened.
Say that again.
Don't beat dead horses?
Right.
Don't beat dead horses.
Because
Don't
they
beat
fill up,
dead
they get
horses.
bloated with
Beat
gas
dead
from their
horses. Also,
decomposition
don't do
and they
that,
can
though.
explode. That's really what I wanted to talk about, is what happens if you
When
beat
you
a dead
when
horse.
you can't beat dead horses, they explode.
Methane
Yeah.
gas.
Method, yeah. Oh man, I wish I knew what I was going to say.
Safety goggles off.
Oh man, I got a good story about that too.
You have a lot of good stories.
I do.
That's why one of the reasons we love Chris.
It's funny because I never think I have any stories until someone gets talking to me.
You
and
never think
people
you
remind
have
me.
any
Oh
stories?
yeah, I never do. I'm like, I got nothing. That's why I don't have a book yet. That's why I feel depressed about my channel. It's like I got nothing to tell anybody. That's usually the best way to do it, which is why I usually do everything alone. And I get shy around people. I get shy filming. So June was just asking about when you see the two together, you know, that's the amplexus, right? That's when they're mating, which is true. And also when they're that way, the male won't let go for anything. And sometimes, especially with the wood frogs and toads, a whole bunch of males will come along and try to grab the female. I'm not going to say anything there. And the one on top will usually try to kick them away, or the female will often kick the others like, no, I got somebody. But they won't let go for anything. And in some cases, especially with some of the American toads, once in a while a female will drown that way. Because there'll be like 6 or 7 males. They won't leave her alone. So they need a feminist movement.
Grab them or something?
Here. You're good to go.
Oh no, they're moving.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Here, I'll hold the light. You might be able to corral them towards your hand.
I don't know where they
They're
were.
right under here. They're like straight down from there.
Oh.
Yep.
Come here.
Just push. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
They're
Perfect.
so cute.
Oh.
Oh, please be.
Look, there's another pair.
Oh.
Or is that a single? That's a single with a good X. That's a female.
Oh.
There's a decent female right there. That she'll be grabbed up any second by somebody.
Peeper?
Yeah.
Stop
There's a-
moving.
Go ahead.
I just want to love you. Let me join your mated pair.
Let me join your mated pair.
I just.
Let them get used to your hand for a sec. Like hold still with them. Where's that female? So they're over there filming, and I've been sitting here watching a lot of the spring peepers hopping along the grass towards the pool, along with a couple of male wood frogs. Still haven't seen any females, but unfortunately, I just found some egg masses, and I don't want to break it to them, but there are some egg masses here. So my original theory is correct. It's a little bit late in the season. I'm going to tell them now. Hey guys. Okay. So we are a little bit late in the season after all. There are lots of peepers. There are several species already in amplexus, and right behind me is a parent amplexus right now. There it is. Now they're like two deer in a headlight. She's going to head towards the pool.
Towards the pool. We have to finish amplexus.
Oh wow. Yep.
Here we go.
So I don't want to disturb their private moment, but there you go. Exciting. It's going to be a good season. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to have you in it. Cool?
Okay.
Okay, so obviously we have had success with finding the spring peepers and the wood frogs. And what do you think? Like, you've seen peepers once before?
Mm-hmm.
And what about the wood frogs?
Nope, never.
So what do you think?
I think they sound like chickens.
Don't they sound like chickens? That's the wood frogs. And she's so right. They totally sound like chickens. But, you know, I didn't film a whole lot, but this definitely counts as a success. So, June, this was your first for both?
Yes. Yes.
So this was her first time finding the peepers, or hearing the peepers and the wood frogs. And what about seeing them?
I don't think I've ever seen them in person either.
So that's awesome. What do you think?
They are so loud.
Right?
I feel like there's ringing in my ears and I'm going to hear them in my dreams for the next week.
Yeah, and actually that will happen. Later tonight, you're going to be hearing it. You're still going to be hearing it in your brain. For real. That'll happen.
It itches my brain.
Oh, it gets so insane. So now I have a question. Cover your ears. This is a game. Cover your ears, both of you. Okay. No, not you guys. Which ones do you think they'll find the cutest? Which ones do you think will be their favorites? Like, what do you think June will think was the cutest?
The peepers and
and
amplexus. I think definitely the peepers. They're so small, and you can see the males mount the females, which we got to see nice and up close.
What
Definitely
about
that.
Sarah?
Knowing Sarah, she might actually...
Almost there. Just hold on.
She might actually say wood frog because of the call. The
Okay.
call that sounds like chicken. Sarah
Yeah.
loves chickens.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Okay. Now we're good. Okay, now, here's the question. I asked the brothers what their predictions were. Hold on a second. I'm tired of holding this. One of you hold it and make it so. I didn't even think of that. Can you see us?
Yep, I can.
Oh my God. I should have had a twin. I understand now. That makes a world of difference.
No, because then there's twice the pain.
Oh, dude. It would not be good to have two of me. I feel bad for the people that love me as it is. So we made a prediction as to what your answers might be, right? I gotta start with you,
Okay.
because you're closer.
Okay.
Who's your favorite of, not of the brothers, that's obvious. Who's your favorite amphibian tonight, or your favorite part of tonight?
Wood frogs talking to you.
Awesome. That's a,
He's celebrating off
yeah,
camera.
he's totally right with that one. That was awesome. And what about you?
I found frogs in amplexus and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. They were just like sitting on top of each other and they were adorable. Oh my God, I wanted to just
I
love
would like
them
to point
forever.
out the celebration off camera is because this was completely unscripted. this would have been a rough night if either of us had been wrong.
Right?
We got it right.
That rocks. So, good couples. You guys are meant for each other. How much does that rock? There was that show, not the dating game, the newlywed one. You guys would have done great. So that's awesome. That was a lot of fun. So anyways, that's all I could think of for right now. We definitely found some cool stuff. We had a lot of fun. I didn't film much. I might stay back and film some B-roll. But our mission tonight was to find the peepers and wood frogs singing, and for the girls to see and hear them in person. And that's exactly what happened. And we got, both species that we were really hoping for. If nothing else, please these two species. Unfortunately, we did not find a female wood frog. So that's unfortunate. But this is still pretty cool. So thanks a lot. Oh, wait. The brothers have to come in here. Here. I'm going to say bye now. Signing out. But the brothers are going to also.
Bye.
So, thank you, Chris. We are the Wildlife Brothers on
Wait,
YouTube.
What's your favorite part? I know what your favorite parts were probably tonight.
I think, for me, I'm going to agree with June. Seeing Amplexus in Spring Peepers so close, we've seen it from a distance, we've seen it in videos and in nature guides, but to see it so close we could almost touch them was absolutely unbelievable for me. Yeah, and I think my favorite part was a specific moment. We all were knelt on the bank, lights off, not saying anything, because the spring peepers were calling, but we really wanted the wood frogs to start calling, and they can be a lot shyer. So we sat on the bank real quiet, and then the wood frogs started calling as they got comfortable with our presence, and that was the coolest part of the night for me, because as June put it, we were accepted by the frogs, and then we got the incredible behavior we were looking for. So that was my favorite part for sure.
So that was great. Oh, this is the Wildlife Brothers.
How's it going? I'm Harrison. I'm Evan.
Yep. And you can actually tell them about your channel. Wildlife.
Sure. So our channel, as Chris just said, is called the Wildlife Brothers. We love getting out in nature, showing you guys all of the amazing species that we have here in our local area and all around the world when we're lucky enough to travel. And one of the cool things is, on our channel, you'll see Chris as well, because Chris is a good friend of ours. So this is fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. And I just want to say one more thing. It's going to sound really cheesy, though. So, my favorite part, honestly, and it's what I was hoping for the most, is for us to see and hear them and to see everybody's faces. I love watching that magic and watching people look at each other with that sparkle and that love go back and forth between them. To me, that was exactly what I needed tonight, and that's exactly what happened. So, I'm thrilled.
As are we, man. Thank you.
Awesome.